Good day, everybody. Mr. Yo 11 coming to you. What today is? Wednesday. Let me see. It's about 4:06. Already been out there doing a whole bunch today. You know how it is. When you gotta work, you gotta work. Anyway, coming to you to give you a quick little trip report from my last 3 visits to that was Murphy, the Murphy Casino, and Cherokee. They're both basically, sister casinos. And then the third one would be the one Tampa down there at the Hard Rock. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get right into it. The Murphy trip, got up early that morning, figured we'd, run out there. I actually had a lot to do, so I was actually under pressure. Whether I even was going to go or not, but we decided that, okay, what we had to do was, minor, so let's go and meet up with everybody at the casino. So we did that. Got over to Murphy. By the time we got there, most of the group was already on the table, so me and my wife, we kind of just went over there and said, hey, not trying to distract anybody from what they were doing and just let them be. So we decided to, get our little coupons, free play, stuff like that, hit a couple of slot machines and wait until the other table opened. So that's what we did. Got on some slot machines, hit a little bit. Everybody, like I said, everybody except for me and Peter was on the other table. As we was over there playing slots and stuff like that, I got a little text message, hey, they're opening up the other table. Okay, cool. Left my wife playing slots. She said, go ahead and do what you got to do, man. Go hang out and this and that. So got over. Peter had a spot saved for me over there, so I was able to get on a spot on the table, not my position. So it was a spot on the table just to be able to get a little bit of action in. All right. So as usual, they're buying in and stuff like that. Anyway, long story short, everybody buys in. They don't start the dice stick right corner. Instead, they start the dice tossing session stick left 1. So that was already okay, whatever, because we were on that side. I wouldn't have tossed from the hook anyway on the crapless table because it's a long shot for me and I don't practice tossing that far. Anyway, with that being said, dice got to the first person and I automatically knew, okay, listen, something ain't right here. Because he tossed the dice and when he got the dice back after he established the point and everybody was putting their money out there to get their bets, we realized that, okay, we got either there's a new dealer on the table or either something's just not right here. So paid attention to the game, watched it a little while. Sure enough, it took them a long time to get everything positioned, which is fine because the table did get packed first, real quick. So it takes a little bit of time to get everybody in their positions on the table. I understand that from a dealer's perspective. Anyway, he got the dice, tossed them, 7 out. Thank God I didn't bet. Next person, same scenario. Get the dice, toss, establish a point, toss again, hit another box number, but this time, as the box number was hit, I realized that they were still taking a long time to get the dice back to the shooter. So I was like, wow, this is really, this is slow. I mean, I even looked at another guy that was on the other end. Matter of fact, the fourth guy on the hook, I looked at him and he was like, oh my God. So that was a sign, sure enough, right there that, okay, this game's, I know, I get it. They're just now starting, but it's slow, okay? This guy hits another number, boom, 7 out. All right? Because it's taking so long for them to pay out and for them to get the dice back. So, of course, you're not going to be able to get in the groove like that. So, as all this is happening, I'm looking over at the other table that the other, part of the group is over there on, and I'm noticing the same thing. They're just sitting over there just like, waiting. Maybe it's morning time, whatever. But the next person got the dice, and it was exactly the same. It was extremely slow. There was no rhythm to the game or not. It was almost like it was being done on purpose. Now, with me saying that, this could be just me being who I am, the way I think. When you are practice as far as setting dice and tossing with low energy or however you do it, because that's what you practice to do to go to the casino, you realize certain things. Well, these casinos, they ain't stupid either. So this game is supposed to be a rhythm game. You set the dice, you toss the dice, bam, they pay out, they give you the dice right back, keep the game going. It's rolls. In the casino, the more rolls, the more money, or either the less money, far as the casino-wise is. So I'm thinking, as the dice is going around real slow at the table and me not even making a bet because it's just extremely slow, I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? Maybe. But maybe that could be me also just thinking outside the box. Because, this game is a game that you automatically have to think outside the box on. Because don't think that they don't watch these videos. Let's say if I was, in there, as Mr. Yo 11, they're going to look it up and be like, well, who is this Mr. Yo 11 guy? Well, oh, he has a YouTube channel. Maybe they look into stuff like that. We don't know. I'm not a person to say whether casinos actually look into people that actually come in and attire that has a label on it, and they look back into it and investigate and say, well, hey, maybe this guy right here is a YouTuber and he's showing people how to toss the dice and stuff like that. Whatever. I don't do that personally, but I think that the casinos do that. So what they are doing now they're understanding that there is a rhythm to the game, there is energy to the game, and there is a groove that someone can get into in the game, and it can cost them money. So maybe they might be slowing it down on purpose. And like I said earlier, maybe that's just me. Anyway, not trying to string that on too long. Let's get back to it. Guy over in the hook. No, matter of fact, I'm sorry. There's a lady in the hook. She gets the dice and she tosses, makes a point of 6. Takes a while for her to get it back. She tosses again. She makes an 8. Good. Takes a while for her to get it back. She tosses again, 7 out. Next guy, same concept. Tosses, makes a point. Boom. Takes a while to get the dice back, 7 out. Whatever. Anyway, finally gets around to our side of the table. And I'm still standing there. So I don't know exactly what time it was that we started, but I was still paying attention to their table over there as well, and I just noticed that it wasn't going as it should. I noticed that there was a lot of slowness in the movement of their table as well, just being aware of my surroundings. Anyway, so finally the dice get on our side of the table. Same concept. They're struggling to pay out. It was just like, I don't know what's going on here, so I'm not going to bet. Finally, Peter gets the dice after this guy points 7 out because it took so long to get the dice. It was just like clockwork. It's like, so the casino's making money. Whoever's putting their bets out there, the casino's got it. Hands down, they're winning, you're losing. Of course, it was a crapless table, so you don't have a don't pass, so I don't know how that works. Anyway, because I always play light side. So with that being said, Peter finally gets the dice, so I actually bet. No, I mean, that's my buddy, so I'm going to bet on him. So I actually do a pass line bet. So Peter actually shoots the dice. He hits the point of whatever it was. It's been a while ago, so this trip report's a little late. So I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that he did hit the point after getting the dice back, but it took at least a minute and 15 seconds to get the dice back. Don't know why. After a first roll, it takes that long to get the dice back, but it did. So I'm not going to flog a dead horse saying that. He hits the point. I get paid on my pass line, so I retract that, and then I don't bet again because sure enough, he tosses again, and then, of course, bam, what happens? It takes a long time, and he's seconds out. So at this moment, the dice come to me, and I'm like, I'm out of position. No big deal. Nothing's really going good here anyway. I'm not going to shoot. So I pass the dice. There was two ladies next in line. Might have been sisters or whatever. Anyway, they got the dice. Sure enough, took them forever. So at this time, here comes G. G walks up to me, and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, what? You're leaving? He's like, yep. I'm leaving. I gotta go. This is just not, it's just not happening. Whatever. I see some other members of the group. They're like, no, this is all good. It's not worth it. So I'm just like, yep. I understand. That's why I only bet a pass line bet when Peter had the dice. And I was like, hey, y'all want to go to Cherokee? Because obviously this right here is absolutely ridiculous. And then here comes my wife. As I'm talking, I still got my money in my rack. I'm talking to whoever was in the group that came and this and that. And I just stepped away from the table for a minute, and I was like, well, let's just get out of here because this ain't happening, because, G had left and it was just like, you're not going to make anything here. This is not going to speed up. It's horrible. I mean, everybody at the table is complaining about how slow it is. Whatever. I get it. They're shorthanded. There's whatever. They might have new people in there. It is what it is. So, good. We all said yes. My wife comes up and she was like, I'm hungry. So, we decided to go there and eat. We went over to the food place over there and ate us some patty melts or whatever we had. Hot dogs, patty melts. It was good. And then after eating, we left. We left because, it was, so I ended up making like $25. Okay, so bought in for $1,000, made like $25. Well, extra. I got my pass line back and then, with $25. So I'm $25 ahead. So with that being said, we all ate. We got out of there. How long did it take, hon? It took a little while to get over to Cherokee, right? It's about 45 minutes away from Murphy. So, yeah, you go through the Nantahala Outdoor Center, which they do whitewater rafting and stuff like that. So we took the back way past Andrews, and then you go all the way through the winding road, and then you end up on the backside of Bryson City, which comes in the back way of Cherokee. So got into Cherokee. Peter then was like, we're not even going to stay over here. So it was so bad because they were there the night before, and it was bad then. So then they were actually, Saturday was another day, and they were like, no, we got to get out of here. So thank God they came over to Cherokee too. So we were able to get to Cherokee at a decent time within the day. Everybody decided, well, we'll just play here. They got more options for dinner. So we all agreed that we would go to dinner together and have a good time. Those that did come with us over there. So Cherokee is always a good place to be. They actually have dealers that are a little bit more advanced. I don't know what happened to Murphy, but it was very disappointing. So we were able to get, Peter was already, he beat us there, so he was already there. So I was waiting on my position to open up because I noticed that, the table that I usually play on, which is next to the cage, it was a little bit packed. I think it was, they were $25 tables, which was fine. But it was a little bit packed, but their rails were like not as, extended as they could be if, you got on a hot roll. So they were like smaller rails. So you seen the chips in the rails and they weren't that much. So I knew eventually I would get my position. So sure enough, we go over there, play bubble craps a little bit. My wife and all of them, they're out there doing their things on slots and stuff like that, playing bubble craps. Had a blast on that, doing the Greg Uloho thing, pop, good job, got a little bit up on that. And then Peter was like, hey, your spot's open. All right, sure enough, guy left, my spot came open. Got on my crapless table, my favorite table is there, and just watched it, I always watch the table before I place any bet. I listen. I want to hear what number is actually hitting. Okay, so it was all over the place, which was